Good day and welcome to Mayo King's TV News. I am Timiela Emanuela. First the headlines. Hostcom advises Niger Delta youths to shun violence, protect oil facilities and condemns killings of Tantita personnel. Senator Wonkwo pushes for Federal College of Agriculture in Idumuje-Ugboko as bill clears first reading. Niger Delta Council calls for state of emergency on hunger and security crisis. Delta government strengthens federal partnership for development. On entertainment, Ruger and Joeboy involved in supremacy battle. On the business news, federal government borrows 1.94 trillion naira from bond investors. On the foreign scene, Trump withdraws early Stephen King's nomination to be UN ambassador. Plus, Premier League to have 2 summer transfer windows due to Club World Cup. Now the news in full. The Niger Delta region has been plagued by violence and sabotage, particularly in the oil and gas sector. It has been reported recently that there have been attacks on oil pipelines and the killing of personnel from Tantita Security Service Nigeria Limited, TSSNL. These acts of violence are not only detrimental to the region's economy, but also threaten the livelihoods of the people. The host communities of Nigeria producing oil and gas, Hostcom, in an open letter to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and signed by its president, His Highness Dr. Benjamin Style Tamara Nebi, JP, condemned these attacks, stating that they are acts of self-destruction. The organization has urged the youth in the region to reject this cycle of violence and destruction. Meanwhile, the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, played a significant step towards addressing this issue, as it ensures that host communities receive direct benefits from the resources extracted from their land. The PIA also states that any community that engages in sabotage forfeits these benefits. However, the Hostcom has also urged the federal government to address the root causes of youth violence in the region. This includes providing employment opportunities, improving infrastructure, and ensuring that the benefits of the oil and gas resources are equitably distributed. The bill to establish the federal government College of Agriculture, Idumuje-Ugboko in Delta State, successfully passed its first reading on Thursday, March 27, as the Senate took a crucial step towards strengthening Nigeria's agricultural sector. Sponsored by Senator Ned Moni Wonkwo, representing Delta North Senatorial District, the proposed institution aims to serve as a center for research, training, and innovation in modern farming techniques. The senator emphasized the bill's significance in tackling food security, youth unemployment, and economic growth. As the bill advances to the next legislative stage, stakeholders in agriculture and education are expected to rally behind this transformative initiative. The Delta State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) has issued a strong call for urgent government intervention on worsening economic and security crisis in the state and across the nation. At its congress held at the NUJ Press Center, Asaba, on Wednesday, March 25, the union demanded decisive action on hunger, high transportation costs, farmer-herder clashes, and the alarming rate of kidnappings. The Congress, presided over by NUJ Chairman Comrade Shoshil Oyewo, acknowledged Governor Sheriff Oboiwe's stride in infrastructure and civil service reforms, but insisted that the government must do more to elevate the economic suffering of citizens. The Congress called on the government at all levels to declare a state of emergency on hunger, warning that despite Nigerians' abundant resources, citizens were struggling to afford basic needs. The NUG also reaffirmed its support for the Delta State Power Reform Bill, which is awaiting the governor's assent, stating that its passage will transform the state's electricity sector. The Delta State government has reaffirmed its commitment to executing impactful projects and strengthening collaborations with relevant federal agencies to ensure maximum benefits for the state and its people. Speaking on recent engagements with the federal administration, the state government highlighted its proactive approach to infrastructural development, transportation improvement, and social interventions, emphasizing the importance of a harmonious working relationship with the federal government. In a significant move towards enhancing transportation networks, Delta State recently joined the federal government in the concessioning of the Benin Omnisham Expressway. This initiative is expected to ease transportation challenges along the corridor and improve road accessibility. Further reinforcing the state-federal collaboration, the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, and Delta State Governor represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at a crucial event underscoring the cordial relationship between the state and the federal government. Now on entertainment news, the duo of Nigerian singers Ruga and Joeboy were seemingly involved in a supremacy battle on social media ahead of the release of their albums on March 28. On Thursday, March 27, the duo made cabalistic posts on X seemingly targeting each other. The drama started when Ruga boasted that some of his colleagues would go back to the studio when they heard his intermediate album, titled Blown Boy Rule, while others, unfortunately, wouldn't have the opportunity as they were releasing their albums on the same day as he. It wasn't long before fans started speculating that he was shading Joeboy, whose album Viva la Vida was also scheduled for release on March 28. Hours later, Joeboy also shared a cryptic post claiming that some of his colleagues were competing with him. However, it was reported that this is not the first time Nigerian superstars will be clashing over release dates. Now on the business news. The analysis of bond auction results released by the Debt Management Office show the federal government borrowed a total of 1.94 trillion naira from bond investors in the first quarter of 2025. However, the amount was raised through Federal Government of Nigeria bonds over the 3 months and does not include borrowings through the FGN Savings Bond Program. The figure represents the total amount allotted to investors who participated in the monthly FGN bond auctions for January, February, and March 2025. The news stated that the government had initially forced 1.10 trillion naira in bonds over the quarter, but ended up allotting 1.94 trillion naira, following strong investor interest that pushed total subscriptions to 2.83 trillion naira. However, the January auction saw the government offer 450 billion naira across three instruments: the 5-year 19.30% FGN for April 2029, the 7-year 18.50% for February 2031, and the newly introduced 10-year 22.60% FGN for January 2035 bond. Now on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has pulled the nomination of New York Rep. Elise Stefanik to serve as the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Announcing his decision in a post on social media, Trump said it was essential that Stefanik retain a seat in the House of Representatives to protect Republicans' resulting majority. Calling her one of the biggest allies, the president said Stefanik would rejoin the House leadership team. In preparation for the UN role, she had forfeited a position as the third most senior member and the House Republican Conference chairperson. A, a confirmation was supposed to move to a vote after a pair of special election races in Florida on April 1st. Former Rep. Mike Waltz, the current National Security Advisor, being one of the congressmen to leave the two Republican safe seats empty. Finally, in the world of sport, the Premier League has announced it will have two transfer windows this summer to allow Manchester City and Chelsea to sign players before the Club World Cup. The window will open between Sunday, 1st June and Tuesday, 10th of June, then close for 5 days before running again from Monday, 16th June until Monday, 1st September. This summer features the first expanded FIFA Club World Cup, which involves 32 teams and adopts the format of the regular World Cup of the past few years. Chelsea and Manchester City are the Premier League teams in the tournament, which takes place in the United States from Sunday, 15th of June. But the Premier League can only have 12 weeks of a summer window, hence the 5-day break in order to run it until 1st September. Also, FIFA has allowed new players to be registered for the Club World Cup from 1st to 10th of June and again from 27th June to 3rd July for the knockout stage. Now to end the news, a quick recap on our headlines. Hostcom advises Niger Delta youths to shun violence, protect oil facilities and condemns killing of Tantita personnel. Senator Wonkwa pushes for Federal College of Agriculture in Idumuje-Ugboko as bill clears first reading. Niger Delta Council calls for state of emergency on hunger and security crisis. Delta government strengthens federal partnership for development. On entertainment, Ruger and Joe Boy involved in supremacy battle. On business news, federal government borrows 1.94 trillion naira from bond investors. On the foreign scene, Trump withdraws Elise Stefanik's nomination to be UN ambassador. Plus, Premier League to have two summer transfer windows due to Club World Cup. That's the news as read and edited by Tiniela Emanuela. Thanks for watching.